Well, greetings and salutations, Series 65 and Series 66 test takers. This is Dean Tenney coming to you from my studio here in fabulous Las Vegas. And recently completed a 65-66 class with over 70 test takers in it. And they're all testing, so we're getting some great debrief. And one of the things people have encountered is the rule of 72 as a way to, do questions or that look like they're higher math when they're actually not. And the rule of 72 is kind of a nice little cocktail party trick to have in terms of some of these questions. So I thought I would go over this with you as a rule of 72. If you get, some people say they encounter this straight up just in terms of the rule itself. More often than not, it's in the context of a performance opportunity. So I'd like to talk about it briefly, do a little carve out for you, and then, we can look at a performance opportunity. All right, so what we're interested in here is the percentage return or the years we need to double money. And that's what the rule of 72 is all about. So it's the approximate formula for doubling of an investment. So if we want to know how many years to double, we take 72, we divide by the percentage, and that will tell us how many years to double our money. Or if we want to know what percentage we need to double our money in a certain number of years, we take 72 by the number of years, and that tells us the percentage. So here's an example. If we assume we're going to earn 7.2%, we take 72, we divide by 7.2, and we know it would take 10 years to double money, assuming we can get 7.2%. Or if we want to know how long it takes to double money in 10 years, we take 72, we divide by 10, and it tells us we need a 7.2% return to double our money. So let's look how that might play out in a performance opportunity. That's what I call test questions. That's what I call practice questions, performance opportunities. So your 50-year-old client has a 401k with a value of 100,000. So, as a test taker, what we want to kind of do is when we're doing practice performance opportunities, practice questions, is kind of look at some pertinent information. So it looks like this is the present value. And as a test taker, I'm always trying to project perhaps what I think the question might be about. And here, I think it's probably going to be about future value. What is the approximate annual rate of growth the account will have to experience so your client's retirement at age 70? So now I got a couple other things here going on. I now have a time horizon of, let's see, he's 50, and that's 70. So now I have a 20-year time horizon. And then they tell me the future value I'm looking for is 400,000. So boom, let's put that there. Now, sometimes it's not readily apparent that it's a 72 kind of a question. So you kind of got to recognize the symmetry of a question to kind of say, hey, I bet this is a 72 thing. Or you could say, well, gee, Dean told me I didn't have to do any complicated math, but yet here this question is. And you say, well, I don't think he would have misled me. Maybe there's some kind of a hack here that I can do. So what we're going to do is we're going to take make a picture of this. And so here is our starting point. As we said here, we have a present value. Let me get a different size font here. Of 100,000. So 50 years old. And we have a present value of 100,000. Okay, then it says we're doing this thing about what are we doing here? We're going 20 years out. So we're going to take our boom, and I say, okay, we're going out here. And we are looking for a future value at 70 years old of 400,000. Go on. Okay, so, well, So we have our pertinent facts here. So I'm kind of looking at that now. Like I say, you kind of got to be looking for a hack. When I do get asked what I think to do math on the exam, I got to say, okay, is there some shortcut I can take? And I say, okay, well, if this is a 20-year time horizon over this entire time frame, so let's just put that in there. Halfway to our destination would be 10 years out. How long you have to get to your financial goal is pretty important. And so we got a 20-year time horizon here. So I'm just putting that there. And so I said, well, okay, well, and then halfway to my financial destination would be 10 years. So that's the halfway point. So if I'm going to be at 10 years as my halfway point, let's just label that. Is halfway to our financial destination, right? The entire time frame is 20 years. So, if we can get halfway there when we're 60 years old, let's put that here. We should be in pretty good shape. And now it becomes a little more transparent that this looks like a 72 problem, that we can use the rule of 72 here, right? So I'm saying, okay, well, if we're going to be halfway to our destination of 400 from 100, that means that here, 10 years out, halfway, we got to have 200,000. Now, that's our halfway point in both time and in terms of money. So now I just need to say, okay, well, if I'm going to double the 100 to 200 and then double it again, I would arrive at 400,000. So the rule of 72, remember, says I'm going to take 72. I'm going to divide by how many years, either years or percentage. Here is the years. And that's going to tell me how long it takes to double the money, right? Because I need to double the 100 to 200 in 10 years. And when I do that, I get 7.2%, right? So again, if I'm going to double it there, and then I'm just going to double it again. Let me put that in a different color. And if I can do that twice, I would have made it to my destination, right? So here's an example where it looks like it's a complicated kind of a future value question when it's not. The present value is 100, the future value is 400. And then we do the rule of 72 and we find out the answer to this performance opportunity is 7.2%. So again, we've reviewed how this works. Let me just go back here again. We'll do a little quick redo. So the rule of 72 is something you might encounter on your exam. Let me roll back the slide. But as I said, it doesn't do you any good unless you recognize it. So what we said you got to do is be able to recognize that you're being asked to do a question where the rule of 72 works. Now, sometimes it just be point blank. What's the rule of 72? So you have to recognize here that we have looks like a future value question coming. We have a 50-year-old who has 100,000 present value is 100. They're 50 years old. There's a 20-year time horizon. The future value we're looking for is 400,000. We're being asked what rate of return do we need to accomplish that? We say, okay, well, this looks like it's a present value of 100, future value of 400 with a 20-year time horizon. We say, okay, well, if I can get to my halfway point, 60-year-old 10 years from now, and I can have 200, I can double it once, double it again, and I'm at 400. So we take the rule of 72, we divide by the 10 years, we find out 7.2% is the correct answer. All right, well, anyways, I hope you found that helpful. Remember, inch by inch, your Series 65 and Series 66 is a cinch. Yard by yard, they are hard. I'll see you for the next installment, and I'll put this in both the 65 and the 66 playlist.